What is going on there, citizens of the Reject Nation? Greg and
I'm John.
We are here today to watch The Gray Man, a movie directed by them Russo brothers who do the Avengers movies, and Cherry, and also stars Ryan Gosling returning to the big screen, one of my favorite actors of all time, representing today. And Chris Evans, of course, looking like he's having a good time. This movie has 180% on Rotten Tomatoes right now.
Best reviewed movie. It's going to get all million of those people back on Netflix.
Can't wait. But I'm excited, man. It looks like a really fun action movie. Let's see. Maybe it'll deliver just a tad bit more with some good star-studded performances, including that Ana de Armis. Ladies and gentlemen, if you could leave a like, I know you can. That would be so appreciated. Also, subscribe, click the notification bell, covering a lot more movies here on the channel. Full-length reaction watch-alongs where you sync up with the time code. Available for them super sexy rejects over at our Patreon page. Cover a whole bunch of shows and movies over there where the same tier you get the option for reaction highlights and watch-alongs included for some exclusive content. And the Prepper team, thank you for helping us edit down these highlights. I'm excited. Let's get into action, people.
I like honey buns as much as the next guy. I'm not going to gouge your eye out for one. You want some gum? Bubblicious watermelon wave. What do you say?
Whoa, he looks weird.
That swoop of hair.
A de-aging.
Born 1980, incarcerated 1995, eligible for parole in 2031.
I think the goatee threw me.
My name is Donald Fitzroy, and I'm here to commute your sentence.
What's the catch?
You work for us,
Who's us?
the CIA. You'd be part of an elite unit, the CR program. You would exist in the gray.
A gray man.
How long do I gotta work for you?
Let's just say you'd be indefinitely useful.
I know everything about this character now.
Exposition complete.
Yeah, I am on board.
He's a CI slave. Damn.
So this took place last year.
Yep.
That's 2021's very important. He was just a wild, rebellious cowboy. Now he's a cold-hearted CIA agent.
I don't have a permit.
It's not that kind of party.
It's an interesting choice to like tune out all the audio in this room and
Yeah.
just focus on them.
Under cover of the party.
6, you copy?
Ooh, cool guy scar.
Our target, codenamed Dining Car, is selling information that could severely compromise national security.
Please explain to me why I'm talking to a Sierra agent instead of somebody within our circle of trust.
6 was in the region, and he happens to be historically good at the job.
That's a good Hemwick's in this. This is a star-studded cast.
It's almost as if Netflix has disposable income.
It's coming up on you now, 6. He's almost to you.
It's a cool touch with the mic on the gun.
6, why am I not hearing anything?
I'm picking up collateral.
There's a kid near the mark.
Got code, man.
Shoot the kid.
Stand by.
Do not stand by.
He knows someone's about to shoot him.
That one guy from the Where I don't know.
Cool. Nice. That was awesome. I like subtle shit like that. Whoa.
Wow. Whoa.
They didn't tell you who I am, did they?
They never do.
I'm Sierra 4. I've sent you out to kill one of your own. That's probably not gonna make you walk away, is it?
No, it's gonna lead to a badass fight.
Yeah.
Ouch.
If you're Sierra, who recruited you?
When did he button his suit back up?
Same as you. I got all the answers because I'm telling the truth. They're not.
There's like a graphic novel vibe to this.
That's a good way to put that.
Hey, take this and bring the bastard down.
I don't want it.
You trust Carmichael? Make it.
I don't want no part of this shit.
There you go. I took it. Okay?
You give him hell 6.
Ah, 6 is feeling some pain.
Honor among assassins.
What about pocket litter? Did you get anything off his body? 6.
Did he have anything on his person?
That you now have, that you like to give to me.
That you just closed up and put in your pocket.
Carmichael's been calling.
We spoke. You should go without me.
Tell me what I don't know.
Well, that's the problem, isn't it?
There's a lot of movie in these last 10 minutes.
I know. It's all the movie all at once.
The Russo brothers, to distinguish themselves, minimize their text instead of the whole screen.
Now there's a big one and a little one. Context.
Why is it always the last stall?
Al Capone booth. I can see everything from here.
He blew off his ex-film.
Lloyd Hansen is a sociopath.
He has methods.
Sociopathic methods.
So sit on him. The guy has a higher kill count than the entire Mossad.
I don't need Lloyd stable. I need him effective.
This is like a 90s action movie with the sheen of a modern day action film.
Mr. CIA, you devil.
Hand the jumper cables to somebody else. I got an urgent locate and destroy.
Give me a name.
Sierra 6.
That could be fun. The man's got some street cred.
Make him gone.
Does the old man know about this?
Not yet. Heads of roll.
This movie's so cheesy.
Get me Fitzroy's file. We'll find somebody he loves and squeeze.
Do me right, Lloyd.
Have I ever done you wrong, Denny?
This movie's in a rush to get somewhere.
I know.
You were the one who lost the asset in the first place.
And you couldn't get it back. The last person that pissed off the old man ended up floating in the Potomac. If you like breathing, you might want to fix this.
It's just the most assured, cool-ass villain in his own mind.
Need anything?
Just a nap.
He's just so cool, calm, and collected.
You're meeting me in Berlin.
I'm supposed to be in Singapore.
Not anymore. See you in Berlin.
Russo brothers kind of gone a little Michael Bay-ish, haven't they?
I was literally about to say, in the like pacing and the money shotting of everything, yeah.
Remind me, Hanson, how long did you last at the agency? 6 months?
5.5.
So how's the private sector treating you? Does it pay as well as they say, or do you spend most of your time strangling cats?
Who likes cats?
I like cats.
I like cats.
I like cats.
Let's talk about the mess your boy made. And judging by your shallow breathing and puckered asshole, I can only assume you know why I'm here. You know I can't find him because his file doesn't exist, but your file, well, that's chock full of nuggets. Now, I tried to get her to smile, but, you know, kids.
It's like an actual selfie. Oh my god.
I'm really loving Chris Evans so far. Plane fight.
Plane crash.
I want him terminated.
Come again?
Keep the body and everything he has on his person. Just make it painless.
What?
Damn.
Ryan Gosling was trained to hear phone calls while in flight. Yeah. That's smarter. Sneak up on the special agents.
Hey, man, we all just want to talk. Of course. This is the fireworks and flares movie.
Oh, that was cool. Yeah, that was awesome. It's a Mummy reference.
Best trailer of all time. Is there a Wilhelm scream in there?
Wow, they trained him for anything.
He is so in the moment. He's just like, yep, grab it onto this, and I got air here. Oh, nice.
This is some wild ass shit.
I'm like overwhelmed right now.
He's doing it.
Do the thing.
Do the thing when you put your hands to your side.
Make yourself aerodynamic.
Yeah, fall faster. Wow. This is like Just Cause. He did it. He did the dive faster move.
Interesting.
He dove, choked him, used the parachute.
Yeah.
Efficient.
Some Jason Bourne shit.
Is that the game franchise? Like a blanking. Just Cause?
The games?
Yeah.
I think so, right?
That's what I'm kind of thinking of when I watch this shit.
Yeah. It's like cracked out.
Hello?
It's me.
Where are you?
Emotionally?
They have my niece. You hear me?
Hold on, you're breaking up.
Hello? Hello?
Okay, there you are.
So many flashbacks.
Well, why don't you come on in and we can chat? My assistant will get lunch. You like sushi?
No, I'm good. I just had some Skittles.
You can give me the asset you stole, and I won't have to chop your head off. Headquarters needs a scapegoat, and his neck is just about the right size.
He knows what business he's in. Hey, Lloyd.
Yeah.
I immediately don't like you.
Six's will is preternatural compared to yours.
Don't say preternatural to me. It's an asshole word. Your boy won't be able to walk 10 feet without getting his head blown off. And that, Dawn, is exactly what bad ethics and zero impulse control will get you.
Maybe not anybody.
We'll see.
There's a alt universe where Rob Corddry played Chris Evans' role.
Yes, absolutely.
Here's a photo of Rob Corddry, in case you don't know who Rob Corddry is.
Buff Rob Corddry. Yeah.
Okay.
Fix. Fitz, tell him why he's here.
No way. The cast gets bigger.
I have a niece that I'm raising.
Someone in the DC office has accidentally leaked Fitz's address in Hong Kong.
Bunch of idiots.
Fitz is starting a mission in Brazil tomorrow, which means you are going to babysit.
Oh, so he's got a personal connection to this little girl.
Like your tattoo. What's it mean? The writing.
This guy's name in Greek.
What guy?
Just a guy, trying to get a rock up a hill.
Why?
They made him.
Who made him?
The gods.
Did they need a rock?
They're just trying to punish him, I think.
Did he deserve it?
Probably. You ask a lot of questions.
You're quite the conversationalist.
I'm gonna get back to work.
Shoot her.
Six, Rob.
I want to buy an Audi.
Something, just struck me.
The remote system flagged it 10 minutes before he pulled up. We can keep track of her pacemaker from just about anywhere.
Thank you.
He's a very smart man.
Only family I got.
Closest thing to family I got, too.
Maybe that kind of makes us family.
This just got personal. Music to set the action scene.
Fine young hipster.
Satisfy your ultimate mind. Trying out a dream. Your sign is Capricorn.
Look at those caustics.
Oh, it's cool seeing Ryan Gosling just like a full-on action hero.
Yeah.
You sure you're all right?
It's just another Thursday. You should go to bed.
Sleep peacefully.
Hau ab!
I got dry cleaning.
Nein, ich bin ausgebucht.
I could have watched the whole movie about him and that little girl. I was really enjoying that.
Yeah. Space. I mean, make like a side sequel.
This will be a minute.
I'm getting that.
I think you should go get yourself cleaned up before we take your pictures. Unless bloody and beaten is the kind of look you're going for.
Maybe it'll make it easier to get through customs. Just what this guy looks like.
Damn.
Wowie.
Yo, Buffy is Ken.
I know. This is all in service of his Ken role.
You'll need an alias. And it has to be something very, very easy to forget. You can step on the wheel. Something like, John, Joe, Juan Pablo. It's also a very common name.
Mohammed is the most commonly used name on Earth.
The desired response is emotion, right? Hope, anger, fear. Can you give a step towards me, please?
There's some hypnotic thing happening.
Yes.
You're going to trigger your secret training.
Emotional memory has staying power. You know all about notoriety, don't you?
Whoa. What the shit? What a great trap setup.
Yeah. That's a legit trap door.
Leads into a fucking well.
Yeah.
I never even met Six until I landed in Bangkok. And no one said anything about a retrieval. What's the asset?
Do you know where Six is?
No.
MacGyver.
Six is the last of the dirty half dozen, and he is 100% conforming to pattern. He hurts people because that's who he is. That's who you're protecting.
This guy's so unlikable.
I know.
Am I jarring your memory yet?
She can see the reflection in his retina.
He's just every cool action guy.
What a very specific trap.
Yeah.
So get out.
Where's the target? Where's my money?
Oh. Cold.
Everybody in the world.
Wowie.
Every skill in the book. Ooh.
He just so calmly hits everyone.
I know. So methodical.
Oh, here we go.
Where's the drive?
Got it here somewhere. It's hard to see.
Is that it?
How much fun Chris Evans is having.
Nice try, Pumpkin.
So sure are you?
Why? You want my foot in your ass?
Ah! Shit!
Mother.
It's like an 11.
Who's this lunatic?
Wasn't she in Berlin?
I get the sense that travel time doesn't mean a lot in this movie.
Not the trunk.
Get in.
I could really use a comfortable chair right now.
Ana de Armas is so cool.
I know, man. She is blowing up. This almost feels like a sequel to her character from No Time to Die.
Unless you want our names spilled across every news alert, on every phone, in every pocket on Earth, shut up and go sit in the corner.
How
about that?
Forget about the Vicodin.
Why are you walking like that?
Because I got shot in the ass, Suzanne!
You're just an asset. But it's my career, my reputation. Why did you steal?
Technically, I didn't steal anything. Ford gave it to me.
Then why didn't you give it to HQ?
Yes, he gave it to me. They already had me kill an agent. Now it's my turn. How do you know you're not next?
You didn't draw that conclusion.
Get comfortable.
We're about to get into a car chase.
Get comfortable like we're going to Prague, or like jail comfortable?
Whoa.
The fucking sap.
Drones are a thing that we can use now. Cause sure.
Where'd she drive over the curb for?
There's someone in Prague that he trusts the most.
Who is that?
That's your mother.
Boring.
Ow.
Now, whatever I just did to your ears, it's not even torture. I just made it up on the spot. This came to me.
Not a bad strategy. Oh, yeah. Yes. Let's do it.
I don't want to watch.
Should we try again?
Okay, fine.
I could do this all day.
Who's in Prague?
I already told you I don't know.
Oh, yes.
Maybe we should get the girl back in here.
They must have legit cut something out of that car scene.
You did say you were gonna quit.
It was a life of few pleasures. I clung to the ones I had.
Was?
3 months. optimistic. If you utter anything remotely sympathetic, I will shoot you.
She aged so much in the last 2 years.
I know. Whole new look and everything.
Got a hold of some evidence. Tried selling it to the highest bidder. Carmichael got wind of it and used 6 to take him out. Big mistake.
There's no way we can copy the file.
It's a dead disc.
It's been a while since I've seen a movie that's based around action scenes.
Yeah, right. How do we most inventively get to the next one fast?
Lead, lights on the left. How can you see?
I like how he knew that was there.
Open the door!
No. Aw.
In here!
Hands up!
Where is he?
Where is who?
What the hell is she doing?
She's gonna blow you all away. He tried getting back in there to save her.
Well, that was unexpected.
Did we just kill Margaret Cahill?
The CIA doesn't know what they're doing.
It does seem like no one's paying attention to anything happening with them.
Send everyone. Get them in there, every team. Light it up.
Oh, yeah.
This is one ambitious ass cop.
Not today.
Please, just do it. Stay still.
Come on, man.
You have my permission to shoot anyone standing in his way.
He's such a cartoon, but he's so good.
Make him dead.
You should clear the square.
Shut up.
You should clear the square.
I told you to shut up.
He's a hero. Oh shit. Now we're getting some Winter Soldier vibes. He's just so dejected.
I know. Shit, sick of this.
Margaret Cahill wasn't enough?
They're just gonna kill all the cops. This is like just cause. It is. So I'm racking up points. No one can get to this one bench. Someone would have got there by now, you'd think.
Bravo engaging now.
All of our teams are gonna kill each other. Just shoot the bus.
Would someone mind shooting the man handcuffed to the bench?
Now you gotta get everybody who he cleared out first. Not bad. Not a bad gag.
My God, how hard is it to shoot somebody?
Yeah. This is so insane. I love this. This is so great. Yes, thank you.
Extra $10 million to the first guy to put a bullet in this Ken doll's brain.
Ken doll! Luke's.
Negative, we lost him.
Nicely done.
There's a lot about this that really feels like a video game.
Yeah.
Or stuff you do in a video game.
It's like Time Crisis on crack.
Yeah, good call, yeah. Time Crisis was like a random online component, so there's just maximum players and maximum chaos.
Yeah.
Jump!
Damn, that's nuts. Oh shit. Oh my god. Wow. This is definitely the most entertaining this movie's been.
Yes.
Oh my god.
Nice shot.
It takes all these people to kill this one cool, calm, collected guy.
That's how cool and calm he is. He's just so in the moment. He's prepared for everything.
Clever.
That is a boss move. It's a boss-ass move.
Oh my god.
And then just a crater opens and the city falls into it.
Thanks.
All teams report status.
This is quite possibly the most spectacular failure in the history of covert ops.
Yeah, covert ops. I was literally thinking these are like sneaking missions and shit that these guys do.
Like the most overt operation I've ever seen.
Look at that, just
Tracking the target.
No change, Lone Wolf. Get me that asset. What I do can't be done.
That dude looks very familiar.
He's another that guy. This movie's full of that guys.
Tell me in the comments who he is.
She's got a pacemaker. You don't have a handcuff key, do you?
He can do everything but get himself out of a handcuff. Sir figured it out with the paperclip plan. I just can't do it.
I missed lock picking day.
I think he's actually a famous actor.
In like international films?
Yeah.
Probably. Gotta get that crossover.
Yeah, seriously, tell me who he is.
Not in Croatian. We need a ride. I call not trunk.
Oh! Ouchie!
Nice. Oh.
You wanna go first?
You go.
Oh my god.
Ooh.
Ouch. You made it more powerful.
Juice me.
Ouch. Oh,
damn.
God. Just burst through a hospital window like that. Superhero
okay.
landing.
The hospital window won't cut you.
Okay. Let's go.
These drone shots are sometimes really crazy. Damn.
Yeah, man.
It's like a amusement park.
Yeah.
You gave me an empty gun?
The shells were coming. You ran away too
Then
fast.
you need to say, hey, wait, that's empty.
I'm gonna bleed out while we have this conversation. I'm just gonna pack it and wrap it, and we can go.
How many wounded criminals have walked into a vet's office in real life?
I want a list. You can probably count on one hand.
He started laying into my brother so hard, it was clear it was either gonna be my brother or him. So I decided it would be him.
Or Ryan.
Ryan. Brain fog.
So he was never really a bad guy.
That's why you're not like all the others.
Whoa, whoa, whoa. Which spot? Let's do!
All right, you got me.
It's let's do!
Quick question. You a 42 regular?
Knows the value of a good suit.
Tell me, Suzanne, is there any other part of your job that I can do for you?
Failing upwards does not qualify as success.
No, success qualifies as success.
If you're white guy failing upwards, does.
Wow, every fight scene is so big.
The biggest. That's not the only way these people operate.
And do not pay this asshole.
Why'd they have all those missiles and shit outside the gate?
Under the bed, quick.
Wow. I love it.
Give me eyes on the bridge.
Cool. That's a really cool shot.
You ready?
That is the subtlest action this movie is.
He's in the house.
They got really excited about these HD drones.
Yep. And man, make good edits.
Shit.
It's kind of crazy they got Jessica Henwick, who doesn't play a tough person at all. Really played against type.
Take this. Give me a hand grenade. Do you understand me? Go!
Wowie. That can't be good for the pacemaker. 99% of her character is a pacemaker. No, don't kill her. I like her. She's a gem.
Boring.
You douche.
Yo, this guy's the shit, man.
Yeah.
The best fights are given to this guy. He's great. Oh, man.
God, even those slight flourishes, his physicality.
He also brings like a charisma.
Take it. I don't care about the money anymore. These are not honorable people. Take it.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I only do honorable murders.
I got a code.
Yes.
Wait, please don't shoot! Look what you did to my hand!
Of course one of these would be here. You need a good maze showdown.
Keep him talking. I have line of sight.
You're gonna throw me that gun, or the little one gets a new face. If your strategy relies on whether or not I'll kill a child, you need a new strategy.
Whoa.
Wow.
Facemaker.
You have been a pebble in my shoe since the very beginning. And now I just don't think I can walk away. Guess what I'm thinking right now?
That you've overshared. My friend's gonna meet you at the edge of the maze, okay?
No, no, wait.
Yeah.
Wait, I'm not just gonna leave you here with him. It's crazy.
I got
No, no, I'm gonna take you with me. Just go with me, please.
Claire.
Don't leave me alone.
He's gonna kick his ass. No problem.
This is just another Thursday.
Okay.
You got this.
Now, for some reason, 6 is gonna get like beat up a tad bit here.
Yeah.
When he normally would. But
But
it's the final fight. You gotta have it.
You gotta give up a few.
Or not. Phil might surprise me.
Do you miss your fingers, Lloyd? Still getting used to it.
That stings!
Ouch. Ouch. He's just a guy who's occasionally frustrated. Oh, damn. This is reminding him of his childhood.
Prepared him for this moment. Ooh. Finally.
Suzanne!
A character arc.
And you are...
Bad news is you'll probably get your old cell back. But the good news is, if you behave, I'll let you out to play sometimes.
A lot of blood.
He grew. Or something.
He completed a traumatic circle. Sort of.
We're just gonna blame it on the guy we hired.
If anything ever happens to Claire Fitzroy, deal's off. I will come for you.
Please, remove yourself from my personal space.
Oh, equality.
He's been unresponsive the last few days. He just lays there. Can't tell if it's science or medical. Won't eat, won't speak, won't even look at us.
Brain damage?
Nothing shows up on the scan.
Starving himself to death.
Satisfied.
It's our official earmuff song.
Started killing right at the right time. It's Chris Evans.
Twist.
Am I allowed to chew gum in here?
How did he know where? Doesn't matter.
He know he's the best. He knows.
He's the great man.
He can find anything.
I'm the great man. It's just over. Okay.
Yep. And you see, he had the dark gray pants, but the lightest gray jacket to signify his change.
Alrighty. Well, I'll be honest with you guys. It's been a half hour since we watched this movie, so we realized that this audio you guys can hear stopped recording, and about like an hour into the movie, and then we had to problem solve. Fortunately, we had some backup audio. No, it didn't sound as good in the last half of this reaction because it was literally like right around the halfway point of this film.
But it sounds better than no audio at all.
True, and I'm still personally recovering. I'm like, oh man, it really like took the wind out of me on that one. I'm not gonna lie, it really took the wind out of me.
It's the last thing. That's the last first impression you want to have had as the credits roll on something as wild and rambunctious as this.
It's like, oh man, the audio is bad.
Yeah, it's like putting a pin through a balloon and just listening to it fizzle out. You're like, oh.
But we have to focus up here and just give an honest review right now for this film, which was, I thought it was entertaining. I thought it was a lot of fun. Although it's kind of a mixed bag for me, you know. It's definitely a mixed bag. It fluctuates. It fluctuates.
Yeah.
Because it's like the end credit scene was kind of the thing that really like sort of summarized my feeling on the movie of I think they made a movie that feels like that, but it doesn't, because when it's not, it's weird. Like there's a lot of scenes that just play just so, it's so generic. Like it's wildly generic. I was surprised by it. This is so generic and it's so straightforward in the kind of movies that it's being like. And that was probably the quality that I was surprised by the most, because look, what rocks about this film? I think it's really obvious what's great about this movie. The action is top notch. It's just fucking bonkers. It's wild. It's insane. Was that Prague, the big crazy one with that they always tease in the trailers? That was in the where everyone in the city, all the baddies come together to just kill everyone.
Just have a bloodbath bullet.
The Purge ends in 12 hours, and here we go.
And there were even notes of the Purge in there. Yeah,
they're just gonna slaughter everyone in sight.
They're gonna have cool skull masks while they're doing it.
Chris Evans was insanely entertaining. Like he was just having a ball of a time.
I like maniacal Chris Evans.
Danush was kind of a surprising scene stealer, because he doesn't have, he's not given a lot of lines, but he felt like such a highlight. I think I liked his style of fight scenes the best, because that's when it was just like not all fucking like sensory overload and it was just so like brutal and well choreographed. You know, I thought he was great. I liked Ana de Armis. I liked Ryan Gosling. He was really cool. He was a cool guy. You know, he weirdly pulled it off. I'm not gonna lie. In the first 20 or 30 minutes, I was going, I'm not so sure how I'm feeling about Ryan Gosling in this movie.
Yeah.
But then as the movie went, I think he made the right choice because he's kind of this hodgepodge of like a shit ton of action characters from cinema and video games. Mm-hmm. You know, he's just all of them. And because he's got that ridiculous cool, calm guy who just kind of gets a little frustrated from more like a 70s or 80s action hero.
Yeah, it was like he's a little tired of this, but he's gonna do a good job and get the job done.
Yeah, but he's also this like relentless force who's just gonna knock it out of the park all the time.
Yeah, with like the most ruthless efficiency, but also like a flair for theatrics to some degree.
Yeah, because, capturing the kind of style of acting that Ryan Gosling usually brings to the table, which is so subtle and very internal, which complements very well off of the kind of performance Chris Evans is actually giving, which is so like literally mustache twirling
and
as
scene
it gets.
chewing, yeah.
Yeah, he's just having so much fun, and they represent two shades of this film. So I think in terms of your main antagonist and your protagonist, I actually think that the way those two chose to play it worked really well for this film, because Ryan Gosling's performance really started clicking for me. I mean, like in terms of an emotional part, when the first time he's meeting the daughter, but it was like the crazy action scene where it starts off handcuffed to the bench and he's just getting like a little slightly vexed at situations, and then the way how Chris Evans is going like, why can't no one just shoot the one guy on the bench? Like the way they were handling that was really well edited and timed and funny, but exciting. And Ryan Gosling remaining like cool, calm, and collected, like pretty much from like beginning to end for this whole thing, because it is playing this. It is playing this like empty individual who has become so hardened and cold, but it also to portray an action character to that caliber of superheroism.
Yeah.
He weirdly struck that right note for me of, I guess if you were this capable in handling this amount of craziness, like you were just this skilled, there's something really humorous and like this seems like the believable way to have done it in a weird way. In a weird way, it worked.
It's like this cannot be a real person, and thus you cannot take it the same kind of seriously you would in like various other Ryan Gosling performances you could point to, regardless of how heightened whatever movie is. I feel like he brings all that commitment, but I think what makes, because I was sitting there too thinking, okay, is this gonna be a little? It's like there are a bunch of movies you can point to that Ryan Gosling's been in that would make you go, yeah, he could star in a movie like this easily. But this also requires a certain amount of that, like rugged, one-linery abandon that you don't necessarily associate with him. But I feel like, he applied the right amount of like, he's clearly taking it seriously, but I think he knows the kind of lightness. It's almost like countering Chris Evans with something that seems very aware of itself, but also still understated somehow.
Yeah. I think he was still in the, sometimes, because at first I was starting to think, okay, is Ryan Gosling perhaps not in the same movie that this movie is?
Sure.
At first I was sort of in a playground like that, but then it started to like really work for me, and when I was like, oh, I'm really getting this performance now.
Yeah, and he's got a lot of rhythm. I mean, for as much as he is like there are way bigger characters around him half the time, he does have like a good sense for the rhythm of this, he's laconic, but there's also that fast back and forth he has with a lot of people. He's just as methodical in how he deals with characters as he is, killing them.
Yeah, because he's got the skill level that seems to surpass John Wick in many ways. But he's got every
major spy's abilities.
He's got the human strength ability and healing ability and mobile ability of like a Fast and Furious character.
Yeah.
So it's like they took like a John Wick character, threw him into die-hard situations, but he played it just with the strength of like a Fast and Furious character.
With the imperviousness to insane carnage that a Fast and Furious character has to have, and the insane like durability. Although, I mean, he sells it better than half those movies do.
He sold it. Like, I really started to believe, like, I actually believe this guy as this like unstoppable lethal weapon.
And that's the thing is you've seen this character like 100 billion times and you can see all the influences, but to his
he brings something different.
Yeah, to his credit, it does feel like he does have his own personality, even though you can feel all the characters that inspired this character.
Yeah, and Chris Evans, same note. So like, just on a very opposite side of the whole equation. Chris Evans really brought that. I wish we did get more scenes solely between them. I would have liked that, just a little bit more scenes between them. And I did like Ana de Armas. I didn't think like him and Ryan Gosling had like electric chemistry or anything like that. I thought they played off each other just fine. And I really like Ryan Gosling's performance in the last half after that sequence, and then when he fights Danush and he's like super injured. Because he was just so impervious to like pain, it seemed like before, that I did find myself going, oh yeah, sometimes in fight scenes and characters like this, I like it when it's kind of like an uphill physical battle for them, like John Wick, or I think of like Daredevil, those kind of characters where it's just, it becomes physically more of a toll on them as it goes.
How battered can this guy get?
Yeah, but
still keep going.
But he never truly like leaned fully into that in this movie, and nor did I think they wanted him to. I think because the movie it seems like it takes itself seriously in the dialogues, other than when they're going for jokes. It seems like it takes itself pretty serious in the non-action scenes for the most part.
These are serious stakes. Life is on the line.
But it feels like cheesy.
Yes.
In the middle portion, a tad boring.
Yes.
But then it would have like just ridiculous action that was just so that it felt like this movie was constructed to just get to the action scenes all the time.
Yeah, totally. Well, and that's the thing is then you look at the rest of the movie, and I mean, I'm sure it's there. I'm sure if we go watch it back, there's some dialogue, but like the CIA operation and just the organization as it's depicted here that is kind of responsible for all this, it just seems like, what purpose do you like? These are like your own guys in different ways that you're just sending after each other and destroying. Like it did remind me of Die Hard 5 at a certain point where I was like, you have destroyed terrorist levels of property here, and yeah, it's sort of like the CIA feels like a very small insulated thing rather than like this organization that taps intelligence and manipulates the country and the world. So it does feel like a cartoon in the rest of everything.
But there's two kinds of cartoons. Like one cartoon feels very intentional and the other cartoon doesn't feel as intentional. Like I think it wanted to be intense at times. I think it wanted to actually have an intriguing mystery and an intriguing world, and it never did. It never quite did. Like I never found it like intense, and it was exciting just by the sheer volume of the fucking insanity of a video game it would become with its action scenes. But in between that, like to me personally, I generally feel that if you're not going to really, you need scenes that support the action, or the action should support that. And here, that's where I'm like, oh man, you got all these great actors here. This should be really elevated. And it never felt like it was like the actors did elevate it. They did. Like without these great actors, it would have just been a dull fest for sure.
Yeah.
But they did elevate it. But then part of me was thinking like maybe you should just kind of committed to just a fun tone throughout. Maybe it should have just been aiming to be solely a fun time throughout. Because I saw one Rotten Tomatoes capsule at the time that I was like fuming over the freaking audio. Because I was like, what did people actually think about this? And there was one I couldn't agree with, which was this movie doesn't want you to take something about that. I was like, this movie doesn't want you to take anything. This was like a positive recommendation, one of the fresh ones. doesn't want you to take anything seriously. I'm like, I don't know about that. I think it does. I think it does, and that's when it would drag. What?
Well, yeah, because of the way that it is kind of torn between. I feel like you can look at the action as a microcosm and see that it's competing with itself in being the really harsh. Like really, you can feel the physicality, and it's like all these like intense long takes, and you can tell the actors really threw down for the combat training.
Yeah.
But then the circumstances, however realistically they are portrayed in terms of just physics and carnage, are like so ridiculous that the two do kind of clash. And yeah, there's not good enough writing around the real stakes or the real motivation.
It's not a real. It's bad writing around the espionage thriller aspect.
Yeah, but there is that thing of like, yeah, I think the grittiness of certain elements, even though heightened, like does, I don't know, like I thought anytime you have somebody's niece or whatever get kidnapped, I think they want you to care. And the part of the movie that was the most endearing was them together.
Well, they have this whole thing with like, let's do these like random flashbacks that I saw in the Cherry trailer. And, I didn't see the actual Cherry movie, but I was like, this looks like the Cherry trailer. But yeah, when they have a flashback of showing, oh my God, this like, because I was so mixed on this whole thing with understanding Six's past, of like cutting to it of why are we even bothering to explore any of this? To be totally honest, I have no idea why we're doing any of this.
And why did you cast two recognizable actors?
And it's so heavy. Like there's cigarette burns on your forearms, and he beat the brother, and I killed my dad. It's like all these like super heavy things that don't really seem to amount. Like I guess it's supposed to be. I found myself just questioning it of like I guess they're trying to pull back. Like, oh, in the beginning of the movie, we had you fooled. This was a bad guy, but no.
Who saw that coming? What? He had a righteous purpose.
I mean, is that the intention? Because even when it cuts to he's drowning and he's thinking of his dad. I don't know what this amounts to, and I guess in the end he's a dad now.
This is just what prepared him.
That's what it is in the end, right? Like, he's gonna be a dad to her, and now he's gonna not do what. Like I don't know what the fuck it is. I don't get it.
He's gonna live a peaceful life, and just people are gonna follow them around the globe trying to kill the both of them, and he's gonna kill everyone who tries to kill them.
I mean, it's messy. It's a messy film. It's a really expensive, messy movie that I'm not gonna lie. Like I was pretty much amused from beginning to end, other than a few parts, and I'm like, okay, this part's boring. This part's dull.
This is starting to drag you. Well, yeah, that's the thing. Is it's paced like a movie that wants you to take it a little more seriously. Or not paced. I'm sorry. It's the length of a movie that wants you to take it a little more.
But it's also like in such a rush, and I didn't really care about like anyone or anything. Like it didn't really matter. Like nothing mattered, you know?
Yeah.
It was just about watching like cool action scenes and occasionally being charmed by some acting.
Yeah, it's like it's fun, it's impressive at moments. The costumes and the locations are beautiful. And yeah, it's one of those.
They fucking discovered drones and we're like, we're using the drone
possibility.
Just fucking look how cool this drone shot is.
Oh my God, we're swooping and it's creating crazy edits and stuff. Yeah, I mean,
at times it doesn't even serve it. At times it's kind of distracting to me.
Yeah, and I mean, I feel like, especially subjective arguments have to do with style over substance. But early on, I was thinking, like, these are really cool settings, and they're fighting amongst fireworks, and there's, like, a smoke bomb fist fight. Like, there's so many cool and interesting things that are, like, semi-motivated by the fact that, like, they need this for cover, or he's, got a lot of cool and interesting things to fight with. But more than anything, they just look cool, and they're somebody... They feel in the moment like somebody going, what's an inventive way we can have a fight scene now? What have we not done yet? And so, yeah, it's like, luckily, a lot of that stuff is inventive and a lot of it's captured really cool. Like you said, Michael Bay, and the first act, I kept sitting there thinking, this does feel like a Michael Bay movie in that everything is like, check out how cool every kind of, like, no shot is not kind of informed by like, check out how cool and intense this is. And yeah, it manages to balance that energy with, again, the really good cast. And so it's one of those things where I get it. Like, it's a summer romp where you don't need to take too many things seriously, but I think the things it wants you to take seriously are going to be the factor for people on whether they like it or not.
No, I mean, at the end of the day, most of the runtime is scenes, and most of the runtime is not action. Even though you might walk away thinking of that, it's not most of the runtime. So I'm like, well, most of the runtime definitely needed to be improved.
Yeah,
and I'm shocked because of who they have. The entire collaboration of writing and directing, they've made some great films. And so to see that this is what was delivered upon writing, especially, was shocking in that regard. Because I really felt that once we did get to that scene where he breaks out, where he is handcuffed to the bench and all that, they're like, okay, this is great. Like, that was really great. And then I thought it was going to like kind of like maintain this and go, oh, this is really clicking for me. This is really working. Because I was just so intermittent for me of really enjoying some scenes and then really just not enjoying, like just going like, this is just a kind of a weird film that falls flat a lot of the time. No matter how bombastic it is, it would definitely fall flat. And I am conflicted on my feelings for it, because even I'm like looking at Rotten Tomatoes, I'm like, it's at 51% currently. I'm like, that's
one of those.
So it's like, what 50 side do I fall on? And I'm like, I'm kind of in the middle of that 50%.
Yeah. I wonder what this would be like on a rewatch, because there's a lot that's appealing the first time around. But I mean, yeah, you look at Marcus and McFeely co-writing this together, and you think this is also based on source material, which I don't know how much it's changed from that, but it does, like, the least interesting thing is the actual circumstances of the spy espionage. Like, that whole opening scene where he's talking to Four and he gives him the necklace, you're sitting there going, it's like, I thought of The Bourne Identity again in that moment, because it reminded me of the moment where he has the face-off with Clive Owen, and it's partly about, it's a very similar scene with like just way more, and it's the only time you even see Clive Owen's character in that movie, or out of a couple, but it's the only like real talk they have. And it's the same kind of thing where it's like, oh, we're both kind of victims of the same organizations now turning on you, except here...
But we didn't get to know the organization.
Yeah, here it's like you led with that scene instead of putting it like halfway through, and then we get to know the organization, but really only through this one guy and his assistant who's annoyed with him.
Yeah, it's like they got to the plot so fast.
Yeah.
They were really rushing to it. Like, insert, cut around while this person's talking, have it overlap to a scene that's already starting now.
Jump around through time a lot.
It was nonstop. It just wouldn't stop. And I'm like, well, you can't generate intensity without any buildup to it at all. And that's what kind of really sort of lacked for me, because I see a better movie and I wouldn't be as perplexed with this. And I would just walk away going like, it's a solid, entertaining ass, fun time. But when I'm here going, oh man, I kind of wish I didn't know who was involved in this movie. Because if I didn't know who was involved with this movie, if it was just some random Netflix movie I watched, I would expect to be sitting here. There's not even a thought I had until right now. But I think that, with knowing this is Netflix's most expensive movie, knowing the stars, knowing the writers, knowing the director, that I would have walked away going, damn, I should have seen this in the theaters.
Yeah.
Where I'm like, I'm totally fine watching this at home.
Yeah. And that's a bummer, because I mean, there are a couple like that skydiving sequence, or sky falling sequence is one of those things where I was sitting there going, man, like I can tell there are some insane effects and stunts mixing in and out. I would be fascinated to know what this looks like on a big screen, but at the same time, you complete the movie, and again, you look at all the resources that went into it and all the people involved, and you think, or I thought, man, if this had been a tight night, if this didn't care so much about certain things and committed to being a tight 90 minutes or an hour and 45 even, and just used the most essential components almost, and played it even maybe a little more simple and just kept the action they wanted, this could have been that really satisfying blockbuster
where the dialogue scenes had like just fun rhythm and fun characters. But at times it played a little spoof like,
because at times it's like this.
That's why I said Rob Corddry, because I'm like, This feels like Rob Corddry, Harold, and Kumar escape Guantanamo Bay.
Yeah.
Like that kind of CIA story. And then Jessica Henwick's just like always like pulling her hair out and like losing her shit. And it just felt like a cartoon in a way that at times I couldn't quite tell if it wanted to be a cartoon in those scenes or if it wanted to take itself seriously. Because sometimes it really felt like they wanted to take itself serious.
Mm-hmm. And yeah, and then you, especially in the FBI or CIA side of it, you're like, it's not nuanced enough to be serious, but it's also not going overboard with the cheese enough to like really be fun in spite of what it's doing. It's more just like you said, it feels like a 90s, CIA thriller character that's all evil and all in control.
Yeah.
And it doesn't amount, but it is really fun in the moment. And yeah, you kind of wish that they had gone, you know what? The point is to watch Chris Evans and Ryan Gosling go head to head and clash those personalities together, and let's focus in on that. And there's plenty of that. There's a lot of that.
I didn't feel like there was enough.
But no, it is that thing. Once we got toward the end, even as much
They
as I
only
don't
had
need
like
this movie,
2 scenes together.
yeah, and as much as I don't need this movie to be longer, like that, and by the time we got to them fighting at the end, I felt like this, in the order of events, I feel like this should be like the fight number 2 out of 3 or some kind of thing, or if there had been another scene of just the two of them together talking, intensely or bouncing off each other for more. Yeah, like they feel oddly separate from each other for how much this movie is selling you their matchup.
Well, the thing is, the problem with Chris Evans' character, as much fun as he's having, he's the furthest from intimidating. He's the furthest from scary or imposing. Like not you don't really. I didn't even feel a build up to them finally fighting each other.
I didn't feel like he was as good as they made him out to be.
No, everyone's just talking him up, but they also treat him like he's the biggest dumbass on the planet, and he is kind of a dumbass.
Because his whole plan is just like, I got every bunch of Black Ops assassins I could find, and I'm just going to throw them all at the same dude. They're all going to kill each other and the cops, and then I'm going to have to go in.
And he never really had scenes that showed he was capable. Like, they kind of say, like, oh, he got kicked out, but he got kicked out after 5.5 months. But I thought that meant like, oh, he was just like too brutal for the CIA. Like he was too lethal. But it was just like you're an unhinged cartoon bulldog or something. Like I don't know exactly know what you are.
What kind of asset would you be to anybody, I guess, other than your ability to corral a bunch of other people to fight for you?
Because that movie doesn't ever show you like why he. I'm not saying why in terms of like what's his backstory, but
we don't get that flashback moment to be like, let's see a really good establishing scene of this guy to really get us, feeling the dread or whatever for him that they want us to feel.
Like, oh yeah, he's funny. There's something really funny about him, but he's the one who could take down Ryan Gosling. I was like, Danush is the one who could take down Ryan Gosling.
I know, justice for Danush. Well, and yeah, like that's the funny thing is I almost feel like they were afraid to make him too unlikable or something, and so he is cartoonishly unlikable, fun to watch, but I feel like the key to a character like that is often including 1 or 2 moments where they do cross the line into ruthlessness and hateability.
Yeah, where you do see that they are the one who is the one to fear or the one you hate.
Yeah.
Or something like that. But it was that's the problem with that character is because honestly, like with what the writing is, I'm like, no, Chris Evans did it the best.
Yeah, no, I mean for what's there, it's like couldn't ask for more, but also
there's a lot of problems though with the way he's written that don't help serve this. For a movie as big as this, there also feels like there's no stakes.
Yeah.
And I think that's the biggest issue with it is you gotta have some stakes. You just gotta have some stakes in any way.
Yeah, because once you've seen the trick, it's like I feel like in the first viewing of this movie gets by on a lot of whooshing and physical ingenuity, like a lot of really like fun and crash bang choreography, and there's a lot to enjoy on the surface there. But yeah, once you come out of it, you're like, there's nothing really that you'd want to revisit, and I guess the mystique of the inventiveness wears off after the first time you've seen it. So what you have to come back to is just a bunch of pretty good action and stuff like that, but there's not really a lot to unpack or really, dissect.
Yeah, I don't really have an interest in rewatching this movie.
No.
And I was like, fucking Ryan Gosling's returning to the screen.
Yeah.
Russo brothers, Chris Evans, Ana de Armas. Like, I think, the reason you get a cast like this to sign up is knowing who's directing the film. So I would expect, I did expect something that, I expected to disagree with that 51% when I saw it. I expected to be like, I'm one of the people that just gets it.
Yeah, just have fun, guys. Meet the movie on its level, yeah.
But very few know how to like bring the cool action and then also keep a big life in between. And this lacks life in between.
And to know how much life, because I can imagine somebody hearing that and saying, it doesn't need to be deep, but that's, I think, the art of things like these is knowing just how deep. Like, John Wick is not an especially deep movie.
But it's got style and personality and life and in between the action.
And it has just the right amount of those things to make you care about the right characters and the right circumstances to feel the stakes. Yeah. It's like it's just enough, and it's not more or less, it's not trying to be more or less than it absolutely needs to be, and it understands what it needs to do and how and why. And this has, a lot of really cool moments, a lot of really interesting and fun sequences, some nice needle drops and things like that, but the whole is not as great as the sum of the parts.
Yeah, it's because like with John Wick, as one example, when you get to the action, you're excited, like, ooh, here we go. Whereas here, it's a different ooh. It's like, oh, we can finally be entertained.
Yeah. Ooh, Ryan Gosling's going to find another creative solution to this problem.
Going to be no problem for him. And that's the issue with the writing of a character like that and the capturing of a character like that is you never feel like this person's in danger. And it's never going to be that hard for them.
And every plot hole gets fixed by you going, well, I guess he's just that good.
Like, I enjoyed the humor of why didn't you throw me a loaded gun? Like, that's funny. But that's more for characters where you feel like they're in a position of really being like they're going up against the machine. They're two people and they're going up against all the odds in the world. Where I'm like, it's weirdly felt out of place for these two to have that moment. Like I liked that scene. I thought it was funny. I think the idea of arguing over you don't throw, because that's such an action movie trope to like you throw a loaded gun and they get into the field, but I'll maybe go, maybe you don't throw a loaded gun.
Because there's so many ways that would go wrong.
Yeah. So it is funny, but it also felt like this belongs to different characters in a different movie.
A more clever movie thought of this.
Yeah, and it's like, and if they had that kind of tone where it's like he just keeps slugging through life as opposed to the occasional. Right, that's all he does to show. Like Ryan Gosling is like a.
He's just he's just kind of tired of this shit. Throughout, like no matter how insane or whatever is, it's just like I know I'm gonna handle it. This is gonna suck. It's how which is fun to watch. Again, it's fun to watch, but it doesn't hold a lot of weight. And like watching those sequences back and forth, like. It's one of those things where I feel like not every movie needs to be meta, and that kind of commentary in dialogue can get obnoxious, but I feel like if you are doing a movie like this that does have so much troping and so much, obvious borrowing and homaging to a lot of other movies, I feel like it does help you in those certain sequences. And then, like, if that bit with the bench hadn't been so well kind of...
A whole sequence from beginning to end was so well done.
Yeah. Like, I had a great time with that sequence, enough to have the thought in my mind and go, I don't really care that I don't see how this would work at all. I don't. I had a train and it was going, but that's what it was. Is I was sitting there watching that sequence and thinking to myself, I don't know. Yeah, there's no way. I had it. It's gone. I don't know. My articulate thought is gone.
I don't know. At times he was Mr. Bean, like Mr. Bean, but capable. Like, part of me was wishing they just committed like full steam ahead with this guy is like so unstoppable, and he's constantly cool in the face of danger. and the other guy is so maniacal, like just go full force with like he is way too extremely cool.
Yeah.
and like he just can't be touched.
Yeah, and the thought came back to me is in that scene I had the thought of it's like he is
like he's lucky, like no one could shoot him.
Exactly. And in that moment I let go of it because the scene was that good, but it made me have that thought, damn, it came back. It's like fleeting again. Say something and it'll hit me. Third time's a charm.
Yeah, I don't know. I thought it was just thought it was okay. It was like, don't get me wrong, there are scenes that definitely warrant a good reaction and a response, and there are dialogue. I like Ryan Gosling's monologue about his dad, and it was cool. It was fine.
Yeah.
But I don't really have an interest in ever watching this again. So
no. That's what it is. Is finally Chris Evans is calling out, why can't anybody shoot this guy? It's one of those things where that moment almost came apart for me, because if it hadn't been so well realized in every other faculty, I would have gone, you're trying to cover up for the fact that you have created a scene where everyone's like, no, this would be impossible. He'd be dead. Like somebody would take that shot instead of all the other shots. And so, in the moment, it's well enough realized that I was like, it's fine, I'll let go of it. But I think that's, for me, a good indicator of how a lot of this movie's experience is in the moment you're like, it's good enough that I'm going to let go of these concerns, but at the end, that's going to keep me from coming back.
Yeah, but could care less about Billy Bob Thornton.
Hey, he showed up. He was good. He's fine.
But I didn't care about him.
No.
That's the big problem. Is like when he died, I'm like, yeah, of course he's going to die. It's pretty obvious that this exact scene would happen.
Yeah.
This exact thing would happen. And because that's what happens to this exact character. and
I mean, like, they took me by surprise with him. At least one of the more surprising turns was when he does just kind of give him up, and there's more to that. But
at the same time, I'm like, I don't feel anything here, because I'm like, I don't know these people at all.
and then also they work through it and it's kind of fine, and they're just like, I don't know, I guess that was the only thing you could do, and it's not going to actually hold that much weight on anything else. And so like, you wanted to have some vague movies. Now are doing all sorts of things about family, and it's all about found family right now, and I feel like they could have done that, and they kind of do. But it's like you said in the middle. It's like, I would have watched a movie about him watching after this girl.
Because I'm like, that's the only time it has as generic as a fucking plot as that is. Badass lethal assassin,
Gray man, the professional,
taking care of little girl. Like, you've seen that movie a billion times.
Yeah,
it was easily the most engaging part in terms of like, this is the one time I'm kind of emotionally latched onto this.
Yeah, so then it makes you go like, I wanted to see either a movie of that scene or the sequel where it is just the two of them.
Well, and I think it gets a little too caught up in trying to be mystery revealing, when I'm like, but you don't do a good job at building a mystery.
You don't seem to care about that.
Yeah,
you don't seem to care about pacing that at all.
Like, why do I give a shit about... It's like what they try to show you is, oh, he, this whole thing with the daughter is like, he can be a dad and be the kind of dad that he never had, like he could do things differently and protect her. This is why he's uncomfortable around kids. And I'm like, I think that's what they're trying to say, and the whole point of it. But you waited way too long to give any hints about his backstory to make me go, oh, that's what's going on,
Yeah, totally.
It's a mess. It's a mess of a film, and it could have been great. And if this was not the people who worked on it, then I would have been like, nope, another passable Netflix movie, and I'm totally fine. But no, I don't think it's unreasonable to be like, it could have been more. It could have been. These are the same people who made fucking Winter Soldier, where they had engaging ass scenes when there wasn't cool action, and that would add intensity. This aims to be more fun and more heightened with its action, because weirdly, even though that's a superhero movie, this felt more ridiculous to me.
I was sitting there in the first few minutes going like, I feel like you took some kind of spy thriller but directed it like it's a friggin' Marvel tentpole, like everything's got to be like ratcheted up to 11.
So yeah. Anyway, that's just my thoughts.
Yeah.
What'd you guys think? Leave your thoughts down below. You can subscribe if you want. And yeah, we'll catch y'all soon.
Marcus the Leech, Mark Leach, how you doing, buddy? We shouted you out last month on a Stranger Things video, and I figured that we got another Netflix event. It's the perfect opportunity. Then I started to think about you, buddy, you, because that's the thing, man. You're such a sweet guy. You're such a supportive and creative cat. Plus, I mean, you're living in the UK. You probably got a sweet ass accent. You would be the perfect unsuspecting, undetected CIA mole, my friend, because think about it, dude. You know the ins and outs of town, and you can keep it quiet. You could lay low. That's your cover. But when the time comes, you probably can kick so much ass, and the best part about it is you're good with kids. And as everybody knows, any good hitman, assassin, badass type, if you're good with kids, it's like the coolest iteration. So dude, I want you to draw me a picture of yourself in your best like CIA hitman, you know, like shadowy past, but not too shadowy. I want to see your take on that. And hey, I hope you're doing well. Always love seeing your face in the little bubble that pops up here on Patreon. Miss you on Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. And yeah, just hope you're doing well, and we'll talk soon. Much love, buddy. Mwah.